It says we're live.
Hi.
Are we live?
Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Oh my
Hi,
goodness,
Debbie.
there's already 21 people here. I
Charlie.
accidentally sent the text before I sent the Facebook post, before I made the Facebook post. So
Hey, Denise.
I was like,
Hi,
oops. And so I was
Lynn.
trying to quickly do that. Hey, guys.
Hi, Misty.
How
Good
are
texting with
you?
you today. Robin, Terry. Oh my goodness, Charlie. So we saw you hop on just as we were hopping off the Zoom today. I'm so sorry.
we're so, yeah, so sorry we missed you.
But we're looking forward to updates. So,
yes. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Hey, Dana. Hey, Sean.
And thank you guys for joining us.
What's up, Buttercups?
So our podcast is usually we like to pick a subject, and this is what we've been doing. Is we've kind of been going back and forth. So it's like, okay, this week we want to talk about something cats. This week we want to talk about something life, and always cats come into the life scenario, but still, and sometimes life comes into the cat scenario.
Hey,
but this week we were like, I don't know, like we have lots of stuff and things happening in life,
but we can't necessarily tease them yet.
Not necessarily things that we can say that we are at liberty
but
to
very
say
exciting
yet.
things for us and our cats.
Yes,
that
lots of stuff, and yours.
Hi, Tina.
But we were like, hey, how about we do another Q&A session? Now we have
Jasmine. Thank you. What? The happy Mrs. Bass is here.
Hello, Jazzy.
See? Do you see her little face light up?
Now we have, like, I think 500 more follower or text people in our texting community than we had before.
Yeah. So we have so many awesome topics. So what we're gonna do?
So we asked the question again, and holy moly, we got so many questions. And most of them were cat related. Some of them were not, and so it's gonna be a rapid fire. We're going to try to do rapid fire like we do on TikTok.
So maybe we've had a little practice.
Yeah.
We'll be better at this time. I don't know. We get
no,
on
I don't
the
think we're good
podcast
on TikTok.
We just ramble away. Hey, Ellie. Hey, Judith.
Hey, Tina.
Hey, Linda.
Thank you for the glass. I'm using your glass
Happy
today.
Sunday.
You guys might notice I'm not drinking wine today.
Nope.
And I'll tell you why. I actually opened up the bottle and smelled it and gagged. So I was like, I don't think my body wants wine today.
I heard. I didn't know where Jay went. I didn't know she was going to pour wine. I thought she was still upstairs. I was like, where'd she go? And from the other room, I hear, ugh!
And I was like nope, I'm just not going to have wine today.
Everything okay in there?
It's not my thing. Not my thing today.
That wine thing is like a love-hate relationship.
It is.
I guess so. It sure sounds that way.
I reckon so.
Wow.
I reckon so. So anyways, let's get started with the podcast. Let's get started with the podcast as quickly as possible, because
it's going to be rapid fire.
It's going to be as rapid fire as possible. I know we won't get to all of them because there's literally like, I can't count them, but
let's do this.
Probably over 100. I know we were
scrolling and I still didn't get down to the end of it.
Yeah. So there's a lot. So I think we'll just do like the scroll and then find, I'll pick one, then you pick one, then I'll pick one, then you pick one.
That
or
seems
you start.
Very fair.
You start.
Okay.
I'll do the intro.
Pull it up.
Let's do it. Let's do a podcast.
Let's do a podcast.
Oh, welcome to episode number 0073 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies Q&A version.
I totally thought this was 7-4.
No, because you remember last week I thought it was 7-3, and then it turned out to be 7-2 because we skipped the week
before
for the Mother's Day thing. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Coming back to me now.
So, so guys, today we could not figure out what we wanted to specifically talk about on the podcast. We actually had a lot of subjects, but couldn't pinpoint one. So we just shot out a text to our texting community and we said, hey, can you give us a subject? Oh my goodness, do they deliver?
Oh my
Our texting community, you guys are beautiful.
Many of you are here today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, live on YouTube. So we have like over 100. I have to say, probably I can't count them.
We're gonna do like the scroll and stop.
Yeah. So we're gonna just start answering your questions. Adrian, you start, and we're just gonna jump right in. We love you guys, and happy day.
This is one, when we were scrolling earlier, looking at whatever, this is a question that I saw like no less than 7 times from a number of people. And the question comes from, Leanne. Hey, girl. Says, what are some suggestions to prepare pets for us to be homeless as we go back to work? To be home less.
As we go back to work.
Right.
I hope you're not homeless if you have a
it
job.
is 2 words. I just read it wrong.
But,
sorry about that.
But yeah, I saw that. I
Great
saw
one.
that question.
Okay, so a
bit
couple
too.
things. I really think that what we this actually comes from Jackson Galaxy. He was talking about it on one of his platforms, saying that as we prepare to go back, when we know that date, we start taking at least 15, 20-minute, he said, separation anxiety, if it's something that you're gonna have to deal with, will show up in the first like 15 to 20 minutes. So go take those, like leave the house like you're leaving and see how your babies are doing. Come back in like 20 minutes, see how they're doing. Sometimes it will take more than just coming up with environmental enhancements for them. Like trying to leave games out for them, food puzzles out for them, indoor
Vertical
hunting
space.
feeders, window perches, vertical space. Those are all things that can be helpful. If you're blessed enough to be able to go back and be like, hey, happy lunchtime, that would also be great. But when it comes to that, kind of that sudden change, do what you can to kind of smooth it before you're actually going to be gone for 8 to 10, 15 hours a day.
Right.
So take those practice runs away and see how your babies are doing. They know that you're coming home. So you're gone for 15 or 20 minutes, but then you come back and then you're gone for 15 or 20 minutes. And it brings that anxiety down of like, and
it gives you reason to get out of the house.
Yes.
Prior.
So that would be the number one suggestion. If you already know that your cat has anxiety issues, then I would look at a calming formula temporarily just to help with the transition.
Preferably a natural calming formula like ours, Cat Calm, who will be
the
sponsor of this episode. Cat Calm. Get your Cat Calm. Get your Cat Calm today. All natural calming formula for cats at twocrazycatladies.com. TWO crazycatladies.com.
That was pretty smooth.
You like that?
Yeah, it was.
I have that commercial voice, I think.
I think you do. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Go.
Believe it or not, I told you I couldn't find Tina's earlier.
Yeah.
I just did a scroll and stopped right on her name. I promise I didn't. And she actually told Tina is one of our VIPs, and she said she actually told us about this one. I literally no lie.
This is the one about life.
She said,
right?
yeah. She said, how about keeping it all going, such as a busy schedule, maintaining life in general, while keeping your business going, cats healthy and happy, and physically adding another into your office. So that sounds like
wow, so many dynamics.
That actually sound like reading it. It's like, wow, yeah, there's a lot going on for all of us, right? But for those of you guys that don't know, we recently were blessed with our Lindsay, who's been working with us for over a year now. She moved out here to Las Vegas from New Jersey bless you, Blue Cow. That was a sneeze, not a fart.
Excuse me.
Just so you know. And she recently moved out here, and so now she's physically coming to our house and working with us, which is so helpful and great.
And our cats love her more than they love us.
I have to say the only downside, and it's not even a downside, because it's an upside and a downside at the same time, is that we are much more cautious about how clean our house is. And we have really let things go pretty easily over COVID. Nobody's coming over. It's okay. We can clean this weekend kind of thing.
Can we just say, like, we don't live in a dump, but Jay is very OCD. So she's like the kind of person that will spend 45 minutes dusting one bookshelf and everything on it. Like, she loves it. She loves to be very clean.
Lindsay wouldn't know that though if she came over, because it's not that way.
I know
it's not that way. Because it hasn't been over COVID, and even prior to that, like we were when our schedule started getting
already
busier,
wearing her down.
Busier. It was I just kind of acquiesced. You know how you do. Like, I'm the OCD. I'm like the type A. She's like the type F, and that kind of sound like you failed. Okay, type D. I don't know, type Q, like way far from A.
Traditionally, it's been type A and type B, but you're trying to say that I'm way past the type B.
Right. I don't even, yeah.
You guys get it.
So there's usually like a happy medium, and there was for many, many years, there was a very happy medium. And now I've kind of gone more towards her side if you look at our bathtub right now, it's got a
hairball in it, but that not a
clothes all over it, and a
like
plastic bag sitting there, and then a garbage bag inside of it. Like,
we've lived here for 8 years, and we've used the bathtub Twice. So here's my, Lindsay said, I don't judge. I'm a slob too at times. I love you. Charlie said, whoa, she backed that bus up. Yes, she did. Okay. So the question though, I think just about life and busyness and changing dynamics and all of that, I really think the answer is intentional time to clear your mental palette. Some people call that meditation. Some people call that prayer, but it needs, in my opinion, is something that needs to be prioritized in order to keep all the plates spinning.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
For me, there's many things that help that. Counting blessings is one of the things that really help. But honestly, physically, one of the things that really helped me with this is getting up and going outside in the morning before checking all the emails and all the stuff and things and the text messages and things like that. Literally going outside and going for a walk or a run. So it's always been a run for me. But over this last week, Adrian and I started walking together and doing some jogging, but also
I got too much junk in my trunk to be running right now.
So, but we're doing it together
and
we're kind of able to count those blessings together. We're like, oh, look at the duckies, and
beautiful.
There's a little rabbit, and wow, we live in a beautiful place, and there's so much to be grateful for, and we can kind of talk out our day a little bit together too. So
in a very calm,
right.
It's a big game changer.
Yeah.
And it's great for us, especially as there are other dynamics that are changing at this time as well. But it's also, I think, for both of us, we both have different ways that we function. Obviously, you just covered the type A and type B, C, D, E, F,
G
that I am. That we have different ways of centering ourselves as well. And so I think, it's trying to find out what it is that helps us bring our blood pressure down. Gratitude is a huge thing. G.K. Chesterton says, gratitude is the highest form of thought. And I could not agree more. When you're thinking about your blessings, whatever it may be, it really just elevates the whole game. The whole game. Brianna's first podcast. Welcome, girl. What's up?
Welcome. Yay.
Oh, it's my turn. It's my turn. We're doing a rapid fire question from our text community.
Yes.
What's up? Oh, I got to back out and then I got to scroll. Oh, I was at the top.
Oh, I landed on Sterling. He didn't have a question. Go ahead. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm not receiving notifications. So someone had notifications.
Okay.
Sorry. Of course I would pick that one. Alejandra. Alex. Oh, I know Alex. Alcohol and wine.
Yes. Okay.
That's a yes.
That's a yes. I feel like mine just, let me.
Jay already covered the fact that she's not drinking wine today because it made her gag when she smelled it. But yeah, alcohol or wine.
Yes.
Is often enjoyed here on this platform. Yes.
Okay. Jasmine, let me click on it. Is there a reason why cats who have a good relationship for several years suddenly dislike one another? Yes. Like hiss, growl, and run away when they approach us in a calm manner? Or should cat owners pick favorites? Oh, you're giving us a couple of questions. Okay. So no, they shouldn't pick favorites, although we all do kind of in our own little ways. They're all our favorites
in their own
special way. Right. But as far as cats that have had a good relationship and suddenly start not getting along, that is oftentimes a redirected aggression. So, and usually, I want to say usually, we don't know what that redirected aggression was. Once we saw this with our cats when they saw our neighbor's cat actually was outside the window. So a stray cat, we'll just call it a stray cat. Outside the window, then they both there was something that was just triggered in them, and they both flipped on each other.
Right, they got really excited about seeing another cat, a stranger cat, but because there was no way to interact with that cat, they turned on each other.
Right.
So that's the redirected aggression.
And in that case, we actually had to go through a reintroduction process where we had to separate them, and then it didn't take as long as like the first time that they ever met, but we had to separate them and then go through all the steps, the scent swapping, the feeding together, seeing each other, but not all that. and reintroduce them, and that took care of it.
And
Another time that we did a confidence building session was all that we needed. And we don't know what triggered that time, but we're guessing it was probably another stray cat that they saw in the window, but they just like all of a sudden didn't like each other. And in that case, all we had to do was the confidence building sessions, which we just dropped how to do a confidence building session on all of our social media platforms on Friday. So you guys can go to any of our pages, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, even.
Super simple, free,
look up confidence building sessions. And it's a simple, easy 15, 20-minute process and one session actually did the job for that specific situation.
Yeah, and I do want to add too, because there was one time that happened when we were letting our babies have outdoor time, and that time it was when Lindsay got to see it because we were in the middle of a meeting with her. At that time, what it was a scent. So our cats all know each other, but Twist started digging where we knew that there was a stray cat that had come by and probably marked. He started digging, and it was like as that scent wafted, it freaked out our little Panthers, and that turned into a craziness. So it could be something even as simple as, especially some of you beautiful people that do like TNR work, or you're with other cats in the shelter, whatever it may be, feeding stray communities. It could be something as simple as one of your cats being very sensitive to that smell being in the home and not knowing where it's coming from, not being able to find that other cat, and then that redirected aggression there. Okay.
So you're supposed to scroll beforehand so that we can do the rapid fire. I don't think you understand what rapid fire is.
Judith, cat parents, especially new cat parents, may not realize that just because a vet is a cat-only vet, that does not mean they know newest, best protocols for nutrition for cats.
Right.
Parents should still be interviewing these types of vets to ensure a good match.
Yes,
that's a really good point.
I agree.
And I love this topic because I feel like it is so important for us as cat parents to really kind of take charge of building that relationship with our veterinarians. I think so often I went to the vet and was like, oh my God, please tell me what to do. Help me. What's going on? Instead of feeling comfortable asking questions, being comfortable letting our vets know where we were coming from. I was kind of like, ooh, keep that raw feeding thing a secret. That's, they're not going to like that. But that great point, Judith, as far as we are a cat's first advocate, and what we've learned, or the things that we are trying to do to give our cats their best life, we should feel comfortable being able to communicate that with our vet. So when Judith said
regardless of the type of vet, even if it's a holistic vet and you are feeding a raw diet and treating your cat naturally, that does not mean, guys, I had a run-in with a holistic vet because I wanted to get titer tests. I wanted to titer test my cats. You'd think that a holistic vet would be like, good for you. And she talked me out of it like multiple times, to the point where we were like, okay, we're not going back to her. Like literally, it doesn't matter what type of vet it is. It really depends on that relationship that you have with your vet and the relationship that you have with your cat. When you know your cat best, then you can truly pick the best veterinarian for the situation.
But that interviewing concept is really important. Feel comfortable, even if you're picking a new vet as a new cat parent, call around and be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? You can glean a lot of information off of websites, see what kind of background and training they have. All of that. But take a session when you narrow down where you want to go, who you want to see, to really sit down and interview that vet.
Yeah. And ideally it would be even better if we're going through the process, say we just moved and we're trying to find a good vet in our area. Ideally, one of the best things that we could do is take our cats to the vet without anything, right? We're just taking them to the vet to meet the vet and interview the vet with our cats there, so that we can kind of see how the relationship with the vet is with the pet. That rhymed.
That was good.
But yeah, so Renelle said, who fell in love with who first? I think that would be me.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you still had the hang up with your ex. Remember? And I was like, she still had this hang up with the ex. And I was like, that's fine. Like, I mean, I was like, that's fine. Like, go figure that out. I'm going to be here because I know we're meant to be together.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. You win that one.
Yep.
All right. Misty. Hey girl. Pet strollers. Yay or nay? Mabel's such a beautiful girl. Mabel doesn't sit by the sliding screen door supervised. Wait. Oh, wait. Mabel doesn't try to dart outdoors. She does sit by the sliding screen door supervised. Do you think using a cat stroller would make her want to be outdoors? I don't want her to be an outdoor cat at all, but I think fresh air would be nice. Misty, you're exactly right. Fresh air for our babies is great, and it's awesome if we can give them outdoor supervised time. Although, like I remember your folks' cat, there was nothing in the world that would make him cross the boundary outside. Then it was like, nope, not me. I don't care if there's a quail walking by. Nope. So depending on, you don't want to force your kitties to do anything. But I would be curious to see if a pet stroller, you would want to see how she does in the stroller inside, roll around with it. Make sure that it's not causing her a lot of anxiety. That's what we did with our babies before we actually took them for a walk down to the lake in their little roller. But make sure that they're comfortable and see if that's something that she might be open to. Pet strollers can be great. And there's cats are just like people. There are different dynamics, and sometimes one thing may stress one out and not the other. You see those adventure cats out there. I'm like, man, I want,
We have an adventure cat.
We do, but the harness training thing is not something we've mastered yet. So
the harness is not what we've mastered.
No, at all. So I would see how she does inside, and then see how she does. Yeah. Just rolling over
go at her pace. Outside. Go at her pace for sure.
Take it at her pace.
Okay, so Judy said, hey, Jay, it's that time of year. I'm seeing a lot of people giving away kittens galore for free. It is kitten season. It'd be nice to hear more people talk about checking people out before they just give them to somebody in case the kittens might be used for dog fights or abused in some other way. Don't just give them to any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Very good point, Judy. So we always want, and we all, like you hear people say, stay away from anyone who's giving kittens away at Walmart or giving kittens away on Craigslist. Or, just like free kittens, come get them. It's kind of like a catch-22, I want to say, because sometimes save them. I'm like, we should save them because they're just going to give them away to anybody and they could be, in a harmful situation that way. But I'd say if you are a responsible pet parent, a pet lover in any way, then you never give your cats away for free unless it's like your sister that or a family member or something like that is going to take good care of them. Don't just give them away for free to anybody. We want to put a price on that because that in itself is going to increase the probability of that person taking care of them. There is a checklist that you want to go through. They're all over online. But there is a checklist of certain things that are going to be the most important to you that you want to go through when it comes to and this goes the same for fosters. If you're fostering cats and you're in charge of their adoption, same thing. We just still want to make sure that they, follow certain or criteria as, the way that you want it to be taken care of lifelong.
Well, and I would say too, just as if you do find yourself finding, these ads somewhere, then I would almost just like as an advocacy kind of thing, call and be like, hey, what's up with this? And if you, I don't know, that whole thing bothers me so much.
I know.
That
I should land it on Tina again.
Yeah, I might just do like a show up and be like, hey, what's going on? And if it is a sad situation, I might just
want to keep
babies
instead of
and give them to a reputable shelter. Sorry. Okay.
Jessica Bryan said, hey, the best advice for senior care. My cat Gray is 15 years old. Okay. So when it comes to senior care, guys, there's a whole lot we want to, do for our older cats. Older cats, just like older people, we start to break down. Degenerative issues can come about. We want to, if we can proactively, we all know that, our cats are 10, they're starting to get a little bit older. What do we want to do? Improve diet. Sometimes, especially if your cat is starting to lose that weight, that muscle mass, we want to increase the protein. We want to increase maybe even the feeding times during the day. Supplementation for older cats is so important, guys. I cannot tell you the amount of things, issues that we have dodged because we give supplementation on a regular basis to our older cats and a larger amount even than we do to with our younger cats.
Well, and I think dodging an issue is one thing. I think that the supplementation thing, we've learned this because as our cats got older, we started seeing kidney issues, thyroid issues.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of things that, wow, that really
opened our eyes.
Yeah.
Opened our eyes to understand
Preventative
what we're
care.
telling. Yeah.
Proactive.
So, joint care, kidney care. There's so many awesome supplements out there that can really help to support our cats' organs as they get older, and our cats' joints and bones. And then diet, obviously, very, very important. And then, really getting our senior kitties moving is a big thing. And it's a hard thing. I get that. Many of us have senior kitties and all they want to do is sleep all day. And you try to play with them or you try to do something and they're like, no, they don't really want to do anything. And we have to get creative with that. We have to get creative because all of our cats, regardless of their age, if they are healthy and not like sick and dying, they do actually want to move around. They do want to play. So we have to, again, those confidence building sessions, taking your cat in a room by himself, no matter the age. We just did this with our 17-year-old last weekend. Major difference, huge, awesome. But really doing what you can, even if it's feeding time. If they're food motivated, you just give them a little bit of food and then that's all they get. And then it's like, okay, or move that bowl. And then we're going to move over here.
Dinner ends up
and then
over
we're
here.
going to move over here and make them move more. There's lots of things that we can do as cat parents to get creative for our senior kitties. Okay.
All right.
You still have it. You're supposed to be doing this.
No, that's how fast. Lyric, cool name. Things to seriously consider before getting a cat. Great question. Number one. I
keep landing on Tina again and again. I think I just have like the same.
You start the scroll in the same place. Things to seriously consider before getting a cat. I'm going to say these things because when we first got our cats, there was nothing to consider. It was just, hey, there's a cat in the parking lot. Man, he's coming home with me. So, but I think some things to seriously consider are we going to be able to think about your annual exams as a required expense? I think a lot of us cat parents know that it's difficult to take our cats to the vet. And when it is time, or it's like, oh, I should, but they seem fine and I really don't have the money for it right now. Start thinking about setting some money aside to care for that new little life in your home. I hate to make that first thing about money. Think about it from your cat's perspective.
Well, know that they're not dogs, right? Know that your cats are not dogs and they are not convenience animals. Sure, some think that cats are easier. I disagree because cats can be much more, if we're being proactive, if we're taking them in as a family member, they can actually be much higher maintenance, I would say, when it comes to, like feeding. Like they love the food that you're feeding and then the next day they hate it. And so, you have to be, and they're the fact that they're so stoic, they don't tell you like a dog does when they're hurt or when they're sick. You have to really pay attention. So I think those are things that we want to.
The other thing is, I think a lot of people think of cats as, I want a little cuddle bug to come home to. Not all cats are cuddle bugs. Yeah. You really have to take the time to build trust with your cat, to get to know their personality.
This is a cuddle bug right here.
This is a little snuggle bug when she wants to be. When she wants to be. Try picking her up when she doesn't want to be anywhere. So kind of give them the space and respect that you would want for yourself. The other thing is think about catifying your house a little bit. And I don't just mean from the perspective of making sure there's vertical space and making sure that there's, places for their litter boxes that are not going to be very disruptive for them. Like if the only place in your apartment is by the loud dryer for a litter box, then think about creative ways that maybe you could make a incognito box or something and prepare for it that way. I also mean the whole, where was I going with this? Environmental. Oh, in your home, I think, if you've got like lots of kids, I was talking to somebody not long that said, my cat's been gone for 7 days. I have no idea where he is. The kids keep leaving the door open. Make sure that you prepare your home, your household, and everyone that lives in there, that they're all on the same page to welcome a new family member into the fold. Yeah. And that that kind of love and respect is there for everybody.
Yeah, I agree with that. We also have a blog on our website, if you're taking in kittens, that Lindsay actually wrote top 10 things to know when you're or to be on the lookout for if adopting kittens. So you guys can see that at twocrazycatladies.com. TWO crazycatladies.com. Betty said, why is this world Why is this world in the shape it is in? That's
a good question.
This is a good question. So I feel like a lot of us, right? But we definitely spend a lot of time I'll just say it like it is. We spend a lot of time judging what's going on in the world. And we catch ourselves.
By judging, I mean, like, I do not like what's happening there.
Right.
Oh, that seems nice. Well, that was happy news. Like, just snap judgments about stuff.
Yeah. And wondering, because COVID made us all turn inward, basically, right? We're seeing everything else as like abstract out there, like what the H is really happening, because it seems scary. It does to us. It seems scary.
There's a lot
of things seem scary. There's a lot of unknown out there, which seems scary. And then there's a lot of media that loves it's negative news for a reason. That's because we as people prefer to watch the negative news. If we did not, they would not air negative news, because all of the ratings would go down, and they would be like, what is it? How can we not get more viewers? And then they put something positive on there and they get more viewers. See, well, it's within us. So I think it's, as far as the state of the world, I feel like it's, our perspective is all the one thing that we have in our control is our perspective of what's happening in the world. And even though I'm like one of the worst at this, I do know when I sit down and I have some quiet time, I do know that, I can look at the world and think that it's all going to shit, or I can look at the world and say, wow, there's a lot of awesome people out there rescuing awesome cats. There's a lot of amazing people out there
doing Davis's story on Instagram,
doing amazing things. There's a lot of happy people in the world that are having amazing things happening in their lives. And we are one of them, or two of them. And counting our blessings, again, going back to counting our blessings, it really is our perspective. As Adrienne always says, what we can control is our sphere of influence. And that's it. That's our sphere of influence. We can't control the presidency or
what's happening overseas.
What's happening in wars. We can't control those things. What we can control is our sphere of influence, our home, our lives, our cats, our perspective. That is what we can control. And so I feel like it's easier if we pay attention to that and control that. That makes Tina's question alive.
Yeah, I do want to say too, though, I think that we're all living through something that hasn't happened in 100 years, right? In an environment where everything is rapid fire. And I think the level of fear that all of us have experienced because of the pandemic and because of just the uncertainty of so many things has really, I think fear is one of those things that really reveals people's character. And I feel like it's kind of been all over the place, whether you're talking about the media and their character, whether you're talking about your neighbor and their character. I think that there's an element of compassion that we need to understand. We all know that when we see a really aggressive cat, we know that cat is a scared cat. And I think that if we employ more of that compassion in the world, when we do see some of the things that except when I'm driving.
That is a great analogy. That really is a great analogy to bring it back to
except
cats.
When I'm driving. I still get to be mean when I'm driving.
No, you don't. Not anymore.
Right, though, I think, though, if we can kind of try to evaluate things from more of that compassionate perspective, because I know what it is to be scared to death of an aggressive cat, and it just feeds this negative thing.
And that's what we're doing as people, too, where our fears... And every negativity is rooted in fear in some way. In some way, all our negative actions, all our negative thoughts, all of that is rooted in fear in some way. And if we can attack those fears, change those fears. And actually, we were just talking to our friend who's a homeopathic doctor, a very, very well-known, awesome homeopathic doctor in Texas. And we just had a 2 or 3 hour meeting with her the other night, and I hadn't talked to her in a long time. And she was talking about so many things. But one of the things that she talked about was the amount of even disease along with the anger and the hate and all the other things, but specifically the disease that is brewing, and that it's not even because of all the things that people are talking about. It's literally because of that fear, because that fear. And she told us like she actually explained it scientifically, and I can't repeat that because I didn't absorb it very well. But she
and I wish we would have recorded that whole meeting.
She said scientifically what receptors do what in the body when we are fearful of something, when we are scared, and how that turns into disease in the body. And people just being unhealthy in general. And that I think that too is another reason why we need to try to just stay as positive. And that sounds so much easier said than done. But I mean, realize that we get to choose how we see what's going on.
Right. And we're not always in a good mood, and we're not always even enjoying each other's company all the time. You know what I mean? Like but I do think that there's the message I think that I get from that so much is that it's my decision to, I love your company. Whatever. I was trying, whatever. The message really is that I'm in control of my perspective in a lot of ways. And while it does feel super huge, some of the things out there that are heartbreaking and infuriating, it matters to me that I believe in the ripple effect. And if I'm going to get all bent out of shape and take it out on my neighbor because I am so pissed off about A, B, or C, and it's not even directly related to them, even though maybe they say, something that wants to trigger me, it is so important for me to be in control of those decisions and to recognize that looking at things from a more compassionate point of view and letting that be the ripple effect instead of the negative energy is one of the best decisions I can make personally.
Right. It's a game changer. Okay. One more question and then we're going to have to wrap it up.
I know. I already pulled it up. Ella said, how often?
Ella.
How often do you give your cat a bath?
Oh my goodness, this is a question that we get all the time. It's so interesting because literally, how often do I give my cat a bath was never a question for the first 5 years.
I know.
Of us being in business, and just over the past year or less even.
What is
we
that about?
get this question all the time. Go ahead and
Here's
answer
the
it.
Answer. Right. The answer is we've not bathed a cat in more than 20 years. And I'm going to give you the answer that Dr. Karen Becker shares, that cats are fastidious. What's the word? I can't think of it right now. Cats bathe themselves very well all the time. It's part of their waking hours. They're very clean beings. Madison was just bathing herself before she fell asleep. It's so cute. Here's the thing. She says at times she does not recommend giving a cat a bath ever unless it is actually needed and even medically needed. So by that, she means if we've got a super flea infested baby, if you've got a cat that has gotten into something atrocious or harmful that needs to be bathed.
Or a cat that's very sickly and can't bathe themselves.
Right.
Those are the cases where we might need to help them bathe or groom them.
Do it in those ways. And then she does have, if you want to look this up, if you are one of those people that needs to give your cat a bath, she's got a great video on bathing a cat and how to do it and the importance of keeping them warm, how to do it all.
Yeah, and you can find that right here on YouTube. Yeah. Just look up Dr. Karen Becker, spelled exactly as it sounds, Dr. Karen Becker, bathing a cat, and you will find the video on how to.
And how important it is to keep our cats warm after bathing. So, and that's especially true for our older cats and kittens, which are the ones that fall most often into the category of a cat that may need a bath. But other than that, nah, bro. None of our cats that we have right now have ever had a bath.
Nope.
Ever.
Pooh Bear at one point was he needed some help in his rear end, and so we helped clean him with just a little, with a
sometimes you can do just a little soap and water, not soap and water. If you got a nasty thing going on back there, this is when he was sick and had some diarrhea.
And about 7 pounds heavier than he is today.
Right. Then you want to be able to help clean as much as possible, as much as they'll let you. And if, because he was not being very cooperative at first, so that might be a situation where I would dunk his bum. I didn't have to do this because he let me clean it himself, but dunk his bum in a sink of water to kind of get the worst of it out and then be able to dry with a towel and let him finish.
Dunk the bum, you say.
Dunk the bum.
Dunk the bum.
That's what I say.
Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up episode number 0073 of Back in the Closet. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really love you. And we love you guys. I don't even think.
Fastidious.
I don't think.
Thank you, Terry.
That's
fastidious.
What does that mean? What is the term? What does that term mean?
Just very focused. Like, it's like they're fastidious is like just a very attention to detail, very like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because they
Now I have
use
to
that
look
word.
up the actual-
They used that word about my grandma the other day, and that's the word I could not find.
Very picky.
Yes.
Very all those things. I think.
Yes.
Now we're gonna look up the actual definition.
We are. That's what we're gonna go do, and then we're gonna be live on Facebook shortly. So thank you guys so much for joining us. It's our favorite. It's our favorite time of the. It's our favorite day of the weekend because we get to spend it with you guys.
Tanya said, "What if the cat gets into poison oak or ivy?" Oh my goodness.
Meow mist.
Yeah, I would meow mist that, but use a damp cloth. If you don't have meow mist, use a damp cloth. Make sure you rubber down paws and all of that, or have with gloves on if you're severely allergic.
But we're gonna need
reach out to us if we can be helpful.
Meow mist. We have a product. It's called Meow Mist Plus,
it can help.
and yeah, that is absolutely the go-to for that. So we love you guys so much.
Love you.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Have a beautiful day.
We'll see y'all soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.